name is Joe. I am the Automation Practice Lead here at Insight, and I am joined by John Reed, who is the Global Head of Automation at SPX, as part of our Let's Get Disruptive reflection series on 2020, basically. So let's dive in kind of straight away, Jonathan. So how was your 2020 and how was it disruptive for you? Is probably a good place to start.
So everyone's going to be talking about COVID. Everyone's been talking about lockdown and changes in industries. For us in food and beverage and our industrial side as well, actually, we've been really lucky that we haven't seen a downturn in the business. We haven't seen a downturn in the requirement of our direct customers because, you know, people always need food.
They do.
People always need materials in our industrial side. Those materials are used to make plastics and all sorts. So, you know, I've watched with a heavy heart friends, colleagues of mine in oil and gas losing their jobs, being put on furlough. For us in food and beverage, we've just really knuckled down. We've worked. We have seen initially there was a slowdown in the capital expenditure of our customers. They put projects on hold, obviously back in March, April time. Big wobble in the world. Nobody knew what's happening. Everything kind of slowed for a bit. But of course, food was still needed. So very quickly, within 8 or 10 weeks, that hold kind of came off. And we started having to really work out how we were going to send service engineers to site, how we were going to work with our customers that needed support, you know, quickly and critically. Automation we can do remotely anyway. We've been doing it remotely for years. We continue to do it remotely. But COVID really changed. It caused it was a catalyst for people having to do things differently. So the first thing that happened basically was a lot of my customers suddenly became very open and very receptive to plant modifications, plant servicing, plant upgrades, small ones, changes, where the automation person didn't go to site at all. They were just not needed. They were not wanted. Can you do this with the automation person remotely? Yes, we can. 12 months previously, someone would have gone, oh, that could look dodgy in health and safety if there's not an automation engineer that can listen and see the stuff going wrong. That comfort level had gone now. The risk of COVID outweighed the risk of, you know, a piece of equipment being damaged. We don't really do much that's going to hurt people. So there was no additional risk to people or life. But all of a sudden, it was all this huge disruptive remote. That was difficult because I needed engineers to remote from home and not from the office.
Wow.
I live on a farm. I've got terrible internet. You're talking to me right now for a 4G connection on an iPad. My home internet works for email, but, you know, so we had an infrastructure change. But actually, slowly and then much more quickly, customers wanted everything remote with automation. So we continued to send service engineers to site. Service engineers worked in pairs rather than with random other people. They were buddied up. And my automation team and myself just started delivering everything remotely. The technologies around it, we're talking on Zoom right now. You remember the Zoom explosion?
I'm about to say, I do.
The cost-efficient equivalent of Microsoft Teams or Skype for Business or Skype, you know. So we've still got business infrastructure. But the technologies like Zoom became real quick, real enablers. Yes, I've got a phone. Yes, I've got Zoom. Let's do a call and hold your phone up. It fast-tracked projects we're already running. So we're now using a complete digital headset with a webcam and a torch. It's voice activated. You can wear safety glasses and a hard hat. So I've now got engineers doing remote site commissioning, process engineer on site, headset on, automation engineer sat at home making everything work in real time. The automation engineer can still hear what's going on in the factory to a limited extent, you know. So that's the obvious. I guess the less obvious is, you know, we've been talking about IoT for 2 years now, maybe 3 years. IoT is not new. It's a phrase that, you know, fills me with dread when someone says it, as much as it fills me with joy. IoT, for me, has brought the technology down to a price point where everybody can have it. I now, you know, I used to have a $10,000 condition monitoring solution that needed cabling on a plant, needed fitting. Now I've got a sensor as big as this pen, it's Wi-Fi, battery powered, lasts for 2 years, talks to a wireless gateway, $150 a channel. You know, the IoT thing in the background, it was just welled up and welled up and welled up. So it's been odd because there's been some real successes completely outweighed by blind panic. Now my car came off the road because I don't even need to do any miles. I do everything from here at home. My home life's better. My company's carbon footprint is better. My mileage on the car is basically zero. I would say the world, given all the terror and the rubbish that's gone on, I'd say the world has evolved for the better from a control and automation perspective in the last 10 months.
I would agree. So just moving on to the next point then, I mean, what do you think are going to be the key learnings to take into 2021? What would you say needs to happen in terms of change?
I have a phrase, it's not mine. I don't remember where I read it. You will have people that know where it came from. It was someone much more successful than I'm sure I'll ever be. If you're going to fail fast. So listen to everybody. Run your ideas past my 8-year-old stepdaughter. She'll look at me and go, well, that's a rubbish idea. And I'm like, actually, you're right. She knows nothing about automation. And I'll explain the idea and she'll go, yeah, but that's naff. Or she'll take this virtual, this augmented reality headset. She'll have it running in 15 minutes and she'll be doing a WebEx to her best friend to do an unboxing video of a new LOL doll. And I'm like, if an 8-year-old can get running with it that quickly, anybody can. That's a great product. So I think we've got to be much more brave in what we're going to do. Follow your confidence. Talk to your line managers. Talk to your peers. If I spend $500 on this product and it fails, is it the end of the world? No, probably not, because I used to spend $500 traveling to site, staying in a hotel and coming home again. Now I can spend my money, dollars, euros, pounds, they're all the same when it comes to it. You can spend your investment, a small amount of money. You can get something working. You can probably get payback quickly. And if you just give it a go, and if you're just a bit brave and people support you in failure, I've run through 20 things that didn't work at all, and I've spent £1,500 worth of company money on stuff that hasn't progressed. But actually, the single customer virtual FAT that we did on site just last week, where we did a mid-skid customer factory acceptance test, the customer of 3 clients, all joined via Teams. It was actually some video conferencing. The video feed was 720p. It was high quality. We saved sending 2 SPX people, 3 customers to a site in Poland. We didn't have to stay in hotels. There were no flights. There was no travel time. We identified some minor issues, things like instruments that had been fitted and wired, but they were put in back to front, so they weren't easy for a maintenance person. Turn it round. In the factory with a spanner, that's a 40-second job. On site, when it's fitted and it's a meter in the air, it's a 20-minute job with some form of step ladder. So be brave in what you're going to do and accept that if you haven't ever failed, you've never tried anything. And if you're going to fail fast. Don't become emotionally attached to these ideas. Crack on, you know.
Jonathan, thank you very much for your time. It's been a very, very insightful conversation. We'll look forward to working with you guys in the future.
Good to speak to you.